Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Maria Lorenzo, and I am going to share with you a little bit about how I accidentally fixed my thyroid. So I'm super excited to share. I am going live in one of the groups. I'm going to go ahead and give this just a couple of minutes to let people hop on here with me. If you are on here live, please let me know. Say hi in the comments, whether you're live or just catching this as a replay. But go ahead and let me know you're here and where you're watching from. So again, my name is Anna Maria Lorenzo, and welcome. I was asked to share my story, and I'm super excited, but I do get a little sidetracked with the comments. I'm going to do my best to watch and follow along as you guys are commenting. So if there's any questions, just pop them in there, and if I don't get to them immediately, I promise I will circle back around, answer any questions that you might have, review your comments, and then of course I'll keep track and an eye out throughout the evening, and just circle back around and make sure to connect with you if you need any additional information. But I'm actually tuning in myself from Jacksonville, Florida. So it's 8:30 p.m. here, and I'm thankful that we're actually global, right? So you can actually be watching from anywhere. So it's exciting to kind of see where you're tuning in from. So welcome, friends, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my background, a little bit about my story, so you can kind of see where I'm coming from with sharing about the essential oils and how I got into them, as well as how I actually supported my thyroid. Hi, Stacy, welcome. But before I get started, I do want to just clarify, I am not a physician, I'm not a doctor, but I do come from the medical field. Since 1995, I've been a medical assistant as well as in supervisory positions, clinic administrator. I've worked in several different types of offices, pediatrics, OBGYN, but the majority of the time I was in family practice. So I got to see a lot of things that came into an office and why people were coming in. And a lot of the most popular reasons, right? Just all the minor issues, extending out to the more serious things. But there's so many things that people go into a medical office for that really we can handle at home. And if I knew then what I know now, holy cow, I would have started educating on essential oils a long time ago. We could actually handle about 80% of our issues at home when we know what to use, when we have our essential oils, when we're educated on the natural options. And it's all about that preventative care, which we don't touch base on, to be honest, in a medical office. So there's absolutely a time and place to see a doctor, but it's great when we can actually combine the two and really focus in and hone in on that preventative care and support our minor things right at home. But unfortunately for me, I did not know anything about natural health care or preventative medicine in the health field. So it wasn't actually until I wound up getting sick myself. And it wasn't until then that it made me kind of stop in my tracks and really take a step back and go, oh my goodness, what caused this, right? So I started coming down with some issues that started causing a lot of discomfort, just wondering what was happening. As it turned out, I wound up being diagnosed with a tumor at the base of my skull. And it was, by the time they had figured it out, it was a pretty good size of a ping pong ball. And so that kind of got the ball rolling with, oh my goodness, what caused this? What could I have done differently? And the answers I was getting were, well, it just happens. We're not sure, just the body just goes through changes, and this is just something that happens. And for me, I was not okay with that answer. So that led me into doing some research and learning more about the body and the causes of the things that are happening. I don't want to put a Band-Aid on things. I don't want to just handle symptoms, right? I want to go back to the root cause of why this is happening so that I can fix things, change whatever it is that I need to change, as far as, is it within my control to change it? And so that's what I wanted to understand. So doing my research, I realized that the things that we eat, the things that we put onto our body, things that we're exposed to, within our cleaning solutions, or the pesticides and so on. It all contributes. It's all toxins, right, that we're introducing into our body, introducing into our system, our cells and everything, and things just to start to get really congested in there. And when you have your cells that are congested with toxins, things that don't belong in the body, we are organic. So naturally, right, we would expect that anything that we introduce that's organic is going to just truly mesh with our system and be processed through without any issue, right? Because that's the best symbiotic relationship. Once we start introducing, however, all of the synthetics, right, the stuff that we get in our over-the-counter stuff, our lotions, our cleaning supplies, the toxic chemicals and such into the system, our body pretty much, for the most part, does a great job at removing the gunk that doesn't belong there, and keeping and absorbing the things that does. But our system does get overwhelmed, it does get bombarded, and it kind of just things kind of get stuck. So just imagine your system internally as we have filters. It's the same thing as when you have your air filter in your home, okay? If you don't change that filter over time, it starts to collect within that filter, and your air conditioner or your heating system, it breaks down, right? It stops working because the flow is compromised. Nothing else passes through, and it gets stuck, and then it just breaks down on us. So we wind up having to call an AC guy to come out and fix it. And he said, what does he tell us? And trust me, I know this very well because I've done it. And I know some of you can actually relate to this. But they say you need to change the filter, and you need to make sure that the airflow is moving properly. The same thing happens within our body, okay? So our filtration system is super important to keep clear because, again, remember that it's constantly catching those toxins that don't belong there until we're completely becoming more aware and intentional with what we're actually exposing ourselves to. That's going to be an issue. And so as things start to break down or slow down, then we start to have a domino effect of issues happening. So, of course, things like your cells not being able to absorb nutrients or breathe the way it should because it's clogged and congested with toxic buildup. So that's one of the beautiful things that I found out about essential oils is how amazing they are at not just cleansing the system internally as far as your lymphatic system, your digestive tract and so on, but it also does an amazing cleanse for your cells themselves. So it's like taking that dust rag, okay? And one of those oils that I absolutely love for that is Melaleuca. Melaleuca is amazing for cleansing off the receptor sites of the cells. So it's like taking a nice bath and then dusting off that the toxins so that your cells can now breathe, and so that nutrients can easily flow through and support those cells so that they continue working the way they should. So our bodies are an amazing system that God knew what he was doing. He created us to basically heal ourselves, right? Our bodies are very much capable of healing itself if the proper nutrients are provided, and we're doing a good maintenance on it, right? Like our cars, we take it to get a tune-up, we change the filters, we do an oil change. We have to do the same thing with the body. So that's one of the things that I learned. So the next step for me was to think about, okay, so I've got to cleanse. So that's, detoxing and cleanse, being cautious of, what I'm cooking with, what I'm eating, what I'm putting on my body. I needed to start eliminating all the toxins with my cleaning supplies and start replacing. Okay, so now how do I avoid ever having this type of an issue again? So I did some research, and it led me to actually my gateway oil, right? The very first oil that brought me into the essential oil world was frankincense. So I read up on frankincense and how amazing it is, the king of all oils, and how it supports your immune system, its cellular support, absolutely amazing. I saw some studies on it. Please, if you have not learned about frankincense or if you haven't Googled it yet, I highly encourage you to do that. The things that you'll find out that people's testimonies out there are absolutely incredible. But that led me to, okay, so that I need frankincense in my life. I need to use that every day, placing it at the roof of my mouth or putting a drop under my tongue. I didn't want to diffuse it because I wanted to hoard all the frankincense, right? I wanted to either use it topically or I was going to use it internally. But of course, the next step for me was, all right, I know that I need essential oils. I know that I need frankincense to get started with. There's so many out there. What do I use? Where do I go? Where do I buy my oil? So that was the next step in doing the research. So researching high quality, of course, you know, which oils, because they're everywhere, and learning that not all essential oils are made the same. And even though that they say 100% pure therapeutic grade, it does not mean that that's all that's in there. There may be pure oil in there, but there may also be a filler in there as well, or some synthetic that's also been blended in there. Because FDA, we know that they don't regulate how essential oils are labeled and such. So extensive research on high quality therapeutic grade was important because number one, I needed it for my health. And number two, I was in a panic at this point, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm a mom and a grandmother of two. So I have 4 kids, 2 grandkids, and I needed to make sure that, listen, if I'm coming down with things like this, maybe they're at risk too. So understanding and educating myself is that much more important, so that I can make sure that I was supporting my family as well. So that's what led me into the essential oils that I chose. And when I found my oils, actually my husband, I didn't know, was behind my back researching oils too, because I said, honey, I need essential oils because I think these are the answer. I need to really start making some changes in my life, and I really need essential oils. So he did research and he found some oils too. And he said, I found the one that I wanted to use, and he found a different option. And I said, well, why did you choose that option? And he says, well, because they're cheaper. He says, I found that one that you're looking at, but these are cheaper. And I said, honey, I'm not looking for cheaper. I'm looking for quality. This is important to me. This is my health. I mean, you don't really truly understand unless you're actually sitting in those shoes as to, wow, that oh my gosh moment. So, which is why I chose the oils that I did. I chose doTERRA, and doing research with doTERRA, they're the largest essential oil company in the world. They source their oils from where the oils are indigenous, where they grow naturally. So they're yielding the highest potency, the highest quality, and they're being harvested at just the right time. And I love the fact also that they're also, you do co-impact sourcing with their oils as well. So not only every single time I open up a bottle, I know that I'm getting the quality and the therapeutic support that I'm really needing and looking for. But every time I open up that bottle, I know that I'm also helping to support someone else somewhere else, because of the co-impact sourcing, the initiative that they do. Basically, the people that they harvest, they partner with throughout in the entire world. You know, there's a lot of areas like Haiti and other areas like that they don't have, or they didn't have until doTERRA came along, clean water to even drink. You know, and the conditions were just so horrible that, you know, the nearest anywhere to be able to get a job, work, or provide for their family just was not an option for them. So doTERRA coming in and basically paying them and giving them jobs and creating jobs out there for them to actually be able to at least have clear drinking water, built schools, hospitals, healthcare, everything else out there. So that sealed it even further for me. So got into using my oils. And I actually started to support my body immediately. So I actually started with the top 10 oils when I got started, and I was very new to this. So it was important that I found, you know, someone that was going to be able to mentor me and help me, you know, start on this journey. Again, as a newbie, what do you do, right? You have your oils, now what kind of thing. It's like, what do I do with these things? So there was a learning curve, but it was a very easy transition to get to learn about the oils, the resources that were provided, and so on. So that's how I got started. So starting with my oils, my main focus and support was my emotional state. You know, lots of stress and anxiety, trying to calm my mind and everything. I actually wound up having surgery literally right before I found the essential oils. And they did remove the tumor, very large, long incision here. And so that was in October, 2.5 years ago. And then in January is when I actually started using the essential oils. So with a fresh scar and fresh, just very raw emotions, I needed to support my skin. I started using the oils to help protect against the sun and to also aid in supporting my body so that my body would heal as fast as it could and as well as it could throughout the transition. What I did not know, though, however, was that the same process that I was following for detoxing and preventing and supporting my body because of this tumor, I was actually also inadvertently supporting my thyroid. Because of course it's in the same area, but it really doesn't matter no matter where you place your oils on your body, or even if you're diffusing it, if you put it into a diffuser and you're breathing it in through the air. For those of you who are not familiar with a diffuser, this is, I call it a contraption, but it's so you put your oils in here and then you add water and you just turn it on. And what this does is it mists into the air. So you're actually breathing in this fine mist. It's a moist mist with your essential oils. When you're breathing it in, it's triggering the limbic system, okay, your olfactory bulb, limbic system part of your brain, which houses all of your emotions. That's your emotional center. So it's amazing for emotional support, which I absolutely needed. But I'm also breathing it into my lungs. So when it gets into your lungs, it goes into your bloodstream, services every single cell in your body within minutes. It's absolutely amazing. So topically or aromatically, it's completely up to you, however you want to use your oils or what you're trying to support. But for me personally, I do use both ways, and applying topically, though, is my number one choice for the reasons that I was trying to support my body. So anyway, getting into the oils, I started off with my top 10 oils because, of course, you want to start off with your foundation, all right, with all things, your foundational support. There's a few other things that I did start on, but before I share with you exactly what I did, I wanted to share a little bit about some statistics about thyroid. And I'm actually pulling this from thyroid.org, but it's an estimated 20 million Americans that have some form of thyroid disease, and up to 60% of those are actually unaware that they have that condition. Okay, so it's a very, very common thing, mostly amongst women, and a lot of us go on without actually realizing that we have a thyroid problem. Which, of course, there are signs and symptoms of an imbalanced thyroid, and I was experiencing those. And if you're here and you're watching this, you're probably here because you can relate, or you're going through some type of a thyroid issue, or maybe you're just curious. And I'm glad if you're here and you're just out of curiosity, because this is, I want to create that awareness that it's something that needs to be checked and followed up on, just for maintenance, and make sure that this is not a category that you fall into. But the hair loss, what are some of the things that you experience, right? Because I personally, my hair was falling out. I was very, very tired, very fatigued, dry skin, brain fog. I mean, hard to really just even remember, a lot of things. No focus whatsoever. Heart palpitations, just going really fast, lots of stress and anxiety. I mean, you name it, mood swings, mood changes. It all happens because our thyroid is not balanced. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about what the thyroid actually is and what it regulates and why we're experiencing these types of things. But women are 5 to 8 times more likely than men are to have thyroid problems. But so men are, of course, not exempt from this. So make sure that you're checking the men in your life as well. 1 woman in 8 will develop a thyroid disorder in their lifetime. Okay. And undiagnosed thyroid disease may I'm reading off my notes because I can't memorize all of this, guys. So I'm reading off my notes. But undiagnosed thyroid disease may put patients at risk for certain serious conditions, okay, such as cardiovascular diseases, osteoporosis, infertility, increased risk of miscarriage, preterm delivery, and even severe developmental problems in their children. So there's so many issues that can arise from an unchecked thyroid, all right? So it's that important to check it. And if you're having any of those symptoms that I explained, and there are others that are possible to have as well, maybe the metabolism isn't working or regulated as, you're trying really hard to lose weight and you're just, you're putting on the weight, you're constantly cold. There's a lot of symptoms that are possible. So just Google, thyroid symptoms if you believe that you might actually be having any kind of issue. All right. So this same study actually states that doctors tell us that we can manage our thyroid, and we certainly need to, but wouldn't it be better if we didn't just manage our thyroid and that we actually help to improve it, right? Because it's possible. It's possible. Now, if you've had your thyroid removed, then that's a different story, but if you have a sluggish thyroid, or if it's going too fast, or things like that, we can not just manage our thyroid, we can do our best truly to help with actually bringing it back into balance, okay? And I'm going to share a few tips and a few ways that you can do that, all right? Because I'm living proof that it can happen. It works. I actually did it, all right? So like I said, I was trying to support one thing, and one of the amazing things about essential oils, but not just the essential oils, there are other factors that come into play, right? Cleansing the body, doing a little detox, but also a few other lifestyle changes that are needed in order to move into that space from being at a dis-ease to a state of ease, all right? So a state from coming from an imbalanced state to a more balanced state, and I'm going to share a few tips on that in just a second. So one of the other things, okay, so let me just explain to you, for those of you who are not too sure exactly what the thyroid is, all right? So it's a butterfly-shaped gland that is located here at the front of your throat, all right? It's about right here. And that gland, that actually produces hormones, okay? So it secretes certain hormones that are part of your endocrine system, and I'll break down the endocrine system in a second. But basically, this gland signals other glands within its network. All right, so it speaks to it by sending out that chemical message, the secretion that it's sending, and goes and travels through the bloodstream and to the other organs that it's networked with. All right, so it's an endocrine system is a network of glands that secrete hormones to help regulate the body. Basically, it's what helps your body do what it's supposed to do. It keeps things working the way it's supposed to. So in the endocrine system, so chemical messenger system, it consisting of hormones, the group of an organism that carry those hormones throughout the system directly into the circulatory system that carried toward distant other organs, all right? So that includes your thyroid, okay? It also includes your adrenal glands, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, your pancreas, your ovaries, testes, your parathyroid, and your thymus gland, okay? So that's a network of glands that communicate with one another. So when you have one that's kind of out of whack and out of balance, then it could actually create issues in other areas in the body. So it's really important to keep that thyroid in check, but to also, to make sure that it's being supported in a way that there are no disruptions, okay? No issues within the filters and such. So the word endocrine, that first part, endo, means within, all right? So you have your exocrine system, which is like secretions that come out of the body, but these are secretions that happen within the body. to help the body function the way it's supposed to. So I just wanted to give you just a little bit of an idea, just in case you weren't too sure where it was located or what it even did or what the function was. One of the things that I wanted to point out as well is that before having a thyroid issue, I actually wound up having a low vitamin D level. And it's amazing what the vitamin D does for our body, okay? When you have a deficiency or low vitamins, whether it be a B12 or, you know, a D or anything like that, those are essential to your system. It's those vitamins and nutrients are key, and they're important for us to have because it's the fuel. It's what makes us go. It's what makes everything work. And so when there's an absence or a decrease in it, then it kind of slows everything else down. And when things get slowed down, they get compromised, and it creates an environment for dis-ease, disharmony, imbalance to happen. All right. So if you think you might have a low vitamin D, or if you think you might have a thyroid issue, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling fatigued, those are actually some of the signs that you might have a low vitamin D. If you're not outside much, if you don't drink, if you're not, you know, dairy, you know, if you're not supplementing with calcium or anything like that, you need to have it checked. Regardless, get it checked. I'm really huge on getting your lab work, get your physical done, ask for your vitamin D levels to be checked, ask for your thyroid levels to be checked, and ask for that B12 to be checked as well, okay? Because they did catch that vitamin D being low before I was ever even diagnosed with thyroid, but no one mentioned to me the connection between that. And in this study at thyroid.org, they mentioned that is a very high possibility that it is absolutely linked. It's what they're saying, that is most likely that it's linked. So, and I'll tell you that it is. Absolutely. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on that. And you can Google vitamin D, you know, omega-3 foods, Google thyroid disrupting foods, so that you can find a list of things that are actually going to work against your thyroid, and then thyroid supporting foods as well, because food is key. It's the foundation. It is our medicine. It is nature. It is what we need, the proper foods, right? Your healthier choices, and I'll get into a couple of examples of that as well. All right, so let me look at my notes because I'm starting to kind of get off track and moving away from how I wanted to lay this out for you. But because there's so much information that I want to give you, and I know that I'm probably not going to be able to give this all to you now at this moment. I do have a very in-depth class that I have that I can send you. So if you're interested in, you know, seeing the other class that I have as well, please let me know. I'm happy to share whatever you need as far as thyroid. I do several types of classes. Thyroid is one of my most passionate topics. I do teach on emotional health and chakras and things like that, but I'm always happy to share. So either inbox me or post it in the comments that you want more info, and I will. I'll also share my protocol with you. I created a thyroid blend that all I do is I roll it onto my thyroid. So first thing in the morning, I add a drop of frankincense to under my tongue, and then I roll the thyroid blend over my thyroid, and I take my LLV. So basically, I use doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality. This is actually the vitamins, the minerals. It has the vitamin D in it, all of your essential vitamins, including the supporting essential oils blended into this. So you've got your E-omega, which is your fish oil, which is very important. You've got your antioxidants and such, but fish oil is it's key. It's one of those things that are necessary to help keep things flowing very well. So that's good thyroid food. So huge immune boosting, you know, goodness in here. There's 30-day money back guarantee with this product. It's literally guaranteed to help you feel better regardless of what's going on. So if you have the fatigue, if you've got the mood swings, remember that when your vitamin D level is low, when your thyroid is off, you're probably cranky. I was very cranky. My moods were everywhere. So big mood swings and stuff like that. This helps to stabilize the system. It helps with removing, or it helps with just basically bringing things into balance. It's not just going to help support your thyroid. This is pretty much overall wellness. And this is, again, your foundation. This has your whole foods in it. So not only does it have all the vitamins and the essential oils in there, but it also has cabbage, broccoli, spinach. It has pomegranate, turmeric. It has several things in here that are just crucial, and it's whole food. You can't go wrong with that. So this is key. This also helps with cleansing the system as well, because again, when you use your essential oils and certain things that are in here, it's going to help remove those toxins that are in there that are built up and kind of do a nice cleanse. So it just keeps things tuned up for you. So this is your tune up. So I highly encourage that if you're not taking vitamins, if you're not taking your supplements, this right here is my number one. It's my go-to, and it is definitely part of my protocol. So the Lifelong Vitality Pack with doTERRA, it's a game changer, a game changer. So the very first oil that I actually started applying to my neck, because I was trying to support my scar, right? I was trying to actually help the tissue and everything with the skin. Immortelle, okay, is the anti-aging blend with doTERRA. The lighting is really bad, so you probably can't see that. Here you go. So your Immortelle, that has a blend of different oils in it. It's actually pretty amazing. There's frankincense in this, Hawaiian sandalwood, lavender, myrrh, helichrysum, and rose in this blend. Absolutely amazing. When it first came out, they actually had formulated this as a thyroid blend. I had no idea. None. I was using this because I had heard that helichrysum was absolutely awesome for, you use it in like your DIY sunscreens and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going out in the sun. I'm going to use my Immortelle, and I'm going to apply it directly to my scar, because I didn't want that turning red, right? So inadvertently, I was actually supporting my thyroid, not realizing what this actually was doing. So my thyroid protocol, the blend that I actually created, does have the frankincense and myrrh in it as well. So that was my first introduction to the aha moment. When I went to my endocrinologist, and she has me on medication, and all of a sudden I'm getting that phone call, and she's saying, hey, your lab work came back. We need to go ahead and decrease your meds. And I said, well, okay. Well, the first time she did it, I was like, okay, this is exciting. I'm lowering my dosage. I was like, maybe I'm doing something right. Well, we checked it again in 6 weeks, and it came back that she called and said, well, we need to lower your dose again. So I was like, okay. Now, of course, I told my endocrinologist that I was starting on essential oils. I brought my oils to the clinic, and I said, here's what I'm doing. I'm starting these vitamins. Here are the oils that I'm using. Is this an issue? And she says, no. So make sure that if you're taking any kind of medications and you're using essential oils and everything, please communicate with your doctor and let them know what you're doing, so that they're fully aware of exactly what you're doing, and they give you that green light and they say, no problem, you can go ahead and use your oils. But she was like, hey, they smell great. I don't know anything about them. And I said, would you like to learn? And she says, not really. I was like, okay. So I took my oils and I went home. So of course, 6 weeks later, I lower and it continued that way until she called, and she says, she called me scratching her head and said, listen, I'm not sure how this has happened. This is very unusual. I would like to get your thyroid checked again, just to double check, but we need to stop your thyroid meds immediately. And I said, why? Why is that? And she says, your thyroid levels came back completely normal, and so we need to take you off your meds. And I was like, okay. So I said, do you think that, hey, Aubrey, I said, do you think that this has anything to do with my oils? I'm waiting for like this doctor to say, you got something here, right? And she says, I can't say. She says, I just don't know. And I said, okay. I said, well, it's a mix of what I'm doing, because I did start changing my diet. I did start eating healthier. I stayed away from sugar because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but when you have a tumor, tumors feed off of sugar, okay? So if you've got this big sugar craving and you're just like, all you want to eat is sugar, check your, just keep an eye on stuff and check your levels. But just take note that sugar does feed disease in your body, okay? And it absolutely does create an environment within the body that is ideal for tumors and things like that to develop. So cut the sugar out, because it's not, it's one of those things where they say you need a sugar detox, don't eat so much sugar, it's not good for you. Truly, it's food for tumors. And so I figured that out, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I switched over to honey, and just try to even decrease that as much as possible as well. But so just making little changes like that, like, alternatives for the sugar, wean yourself off. I know it's hard. Instead of grabbing the chips or whatever, just grab an orange or something, just a healthier option. Little by little, take little steps, but move into and transition into those better choices, because I promise you that your body can absolutely heal itself if it's given what it needs to do that. All right. And so I'm not saying the essential oils heal your body. What I'm saying is that they support your body, they supplement your body, they feed your body what it needs so that it can do what it's supposed to do naturally. And that's what it's all about. So that, coupled with the right foods and the supplementation with the vitamins and such. Hi, Jack. So let me just go through. I do have more info here, but I just want to check the comments to make sure I'm not missing anything. For some reason, it's not letting me scroll through comments, so I can't tell if I've missed anything. I'm so sorry, but I'll circle back around. Okay, so told you about that. Another blend, there's actually a few things in my protocol. I can inbox it to you, but I do use another blend called Balance, because one of the other things that we struggle with when we have thyroid problems is a little bit of anxiousness, right? We're very anxious. Our heart's probably like, really fast. We get a little bit of that, a lot of that nervousness. And so we just need a little bit of calming. And Balance is actually the grounding blend. It's a blend of oils that are proprietary to doTERRA, but it's a blend of oils that are formulated to help with just grounding you. So it helps with that. One of the oils that are in here, first of all, there's frankincense. I've gravitated to all things frankincense without realizing it. It's just naturally your body, pretty much, if you're gravitating to specific oils or specific scents, your body's probably needing it. It's the same thing when we crave a lemon, or when we crave, certain things. It's our body is deficient in something, or just it's calling for it. So listen to your body, tune into what your gut's telling you. All right. But this has frankincense in it, spruce, hoe wood, and blue tansy. I did not know when I first started using this what blue tansy actually did. Blue tansy is an amazing oil that helps with supporting the thyroid, to help it to secrete the thyroid hormone. But this one actually is when your thyroid is kind of like off balance and you start to feel a little bit of that anxiousness and stuff. Blue tansy helps with that type of emotional support. So specific to thyroid as well. I didn't know that, but I just recently found that out, and I said, well, of course, that's why I use it, and that's why it probably helps. So Balance is an amazing oil blend for you. Doing things like lemon in your water. This is what I started doing. I warm up a glass of water, and you don't have to have it warm, but it's your body readily absorbs that warm water a lot easier than it does cold water or even room temperature. But a couple drops of lemon essential oil, and again, you cannot ingest all different. It depends on the brand that you're using, on whether or not you can ingest it. Okay, doTERRA's oils, you can ingest the lemon because that's really what it is. It's lemon. If you get an oil at Whole Foods or another company and it says not for internal use, it's probably not just lemon in there. So that's why I trust doTERRA. One of the other reasons I trust doTERRA. But I put a couple of drops of water. Lemon is very cleansing to the system. Do not put your lemon oil or any kind of citrus oil in a plastic cup or container because it is so powerful as far as a cleanser for your system. It's going to do the same thing to your plastic, right? Plastic, you know, that is made with toxins. So it's going to basically strip the plastic of its toxins, and it's going to go right into your water, and you're going to ingest that. So use stainless steel or glass when you're using oils in your water to ingest, okay? That's going to help cleanse out the lymphatic system, which is important because that's one of your filters. It traps bacteria and helps to move it out of the body. The only problem is that the lymphatic system doesn't actually have its own motor. It doesn't move on its own. So it's important to move, do some exercises, massage, dry brushing, things like that to kind of help with, you know, moving the lymphatic system to drain, to do what it's supposed to. But lemon is great for digestive support as well. So it's cleansing out the liver, it's cleansing out the intestines, it's all things cleansing in there. So it's great. And it also helps with focus. So lots of other benefits. Lemon is amazing for so many reasons, but I highly encourage that it be one of your oils for your routine for your thyroid. Intune was another oil that I started using early on because I had a lot of brain fog. Intune is the focus blend. And of course, you know, you need some focus when you have to do some things, when you're trying to work or, you know, study or anything like that. So using Intune at the bottom, at the base of your skull, at your brain stem there, here, even just at the front of your frontal lobe, to just kind of help you with bringing you into focus. And this one has frankincense in it. Yes, people, everything frankincense drew me, and I'm telling you, your body knows what it needs. But frankincense in there, sandalwood, patchouli, ylang ylang, a few other things, lime, I think I said sandalwood, Roman chamomile, and so on. It's an amazing blend, and it does help to center you, focus you, ground you, so that you can actually get some things done. So that was really important for me. I started using oils for my hair. So I do have a hair growth formula. So if you are struggling with hair loss because of your thyroid or for whatever reason, then please reach out and let me know. I'm happy to send you the hair growth formula that I used. And I think I have it written down here somewhere, but it's basically I use lavender, cedarwood, and rosemary. So those three, there's a recipe. You can create literally a hair balm. You could actually put it into your shampoo if you wanted to. You can do a hair mask, or you can use a hair balm. So I can send you those recipes. Just let me know. What was a couple of other things that I did? So of course, replacing your cleaning supplies. Remove your toxins. There are studies out there that show that On Guard essential oil against it kills 99.9% of germs of bacteria. So spraying it on your surfaces, it actually continues to do that up to 7 days. There was a science project that was done, On Guard versus Clorox. It was an awesome, you know, project to see that On Guard actually killed more bacteria in its you know, versus Clorox. I mean, everybody thinks, you know, you've got to use Clorox. I know it's toxic. You're going to have an asthma attack. You can't breathe or get it on your skin, but it's going to clean my tub. Guys, you don't need Clorox. You don't need Clorox. It's toxic. You know, it's irritating your lungs and things like that. Just remove the stuff that you don't need. If it's toxic, get rid of it and use your oils, because your oils do have antibacterial properties to them. You can literally clean with your essential oils, and there's so much information on how to do that. If you need help with figuring it out, please let us know, because that is so important. It's so important. It's definitely a disruptor for your entire system. But it's another way that you're introducing toxins into the body. Yes, I absolutely will, Gina. I will send you that. I'll circle back around after the class, and I'll start sending everybody whatever they're asking for. Okay, so we covered hair, vitamin D, your gut health. Did you know that 70 to 80% of your immune system actually sits in your gut? And most issues stem from poor gut health. And so, when we keep the filters clean and supporting our digestive system, right? Because that's part of our filter, our intestines. That first layer of it at the top there has these molecules, right? These cells that grab onto the nutrients and help the body to absorb it, but it also, that's where it's like fighting off what doesn't belong. Okay, so your immune system is there to help protect your system by chomping up all that doesn't belong, but it's not going to catch everything, and it depends on what type of toxin that's in there. It might actually overload the immune system, because if we're eating food that's really actually not food, it's going to cause a lot of issues. So keeping that area clean and creating an environment for the immune system to do what it's supposed to do and to work at protecting you. So gut health is really important. I find that when you eat an orange throughout the day, it just, eat an orange every day, it really helps to clean things out and to keep things going, but fiber, of course. Probiotic is a really important thing, because what it's doing is it's replacing your good bacteria back into the gut, and what it's doing is creating a nice environment for the good stuff to grow that's going to help fight off the bad stuff. So just to kind of keep that simple, if you're not familiar with probiotic, let us know. We will absolutely post information on probiotic there and specifically what it does. We can get as scientific as you want, or we can keep it basic. So let us know, do you want science, or do you want us to just keep it simple and just let you know what you need? But we're happy to share either way. All right, so let's see, hair. Zendocrine is actually the detoxification blend. Zendocrine, if you look at the word there, take away the Z and you have the word endocrine, right? So this is going to help clean out those filters. This is going to help clean out and support your endocrine system, all right? So this right here, I didn't even put two and two together at first. I just saw that it was a detox blend, and I was like, hey, I need a detox. I need to clean out my system because I've got this tumor I'm trying to prevent from ever happening. Not realizing, again, this was something that I was actually doing to help support my endocrine system, which is my thyroid. So if you can just remember, just cleansing and detoxing the body, you're going to help support your endocrine system, okay? That's what causes issues in the first place, is that it's just full of toxins and filled up. So what am I missing? Let's see here. I think I've pretty much covered it. Let's get into the foods just really quick. So some of the thyroid supporting things, of course, blueberries. All right, so if you're familiar with chakras, this is your throat chakra, and the color of that is blue. So eat your rainbow, right? So for all of your systems, whether it's your crown chakra, your heart chakra, anything like that, they're all color coded. And you can keep it super simple by just eating your rainbow. So eat your fruits and your veggies, all of the colors of the rainbow, and you're pretty much covering everything. Remember, food is it's your medicine. Like, that's literally, if you can get that in there. Wild caught fish, coconut oil is absolutely amazing. Put it on your toast. Put it in your coffee if you're a coffee drinker. Crackers and things like that. As much coconut oil, whether it's on topically, you can get the one from the store, the one that you cook with, that's solidifies when it's cold and melts in the heat. is, the extra virgin. You can get the unrefined or the refined, it's up to you, but just use your coconut oil topically, put it in your hair, take it internally. It's amazing for you. It actually helps to support your brain as well. Eggs, probiotics, high fiber foods, increase your water intake because your toxins need to be flushed out. Your body needs water. It's made up of 80% water. Your brain is like 80% water. All right. So, you need water our water is constantly evaporating. So, replace it, but it's actually also helping move your oils through your system. So when you're using your essential oils and you drink water immediately, it's actually helping to move those oils through the system, but it's also helping to flush and remove the toxins that are being dislodged. Remember how important it is to remove the toxins when we dislodge them, because your oils are going to do that. Your oils are very, very good at cleaning your system out. So help move it out with drinking lots of water. Bone broth, avoid sugar, avoid coffee if you can, processed foods and things like that. But please Google endocrine disruptors and see what it is that you need to avoid, because they will give you a list of things to do. So green smoothies, just all things green, right? Make a green smoothie. That's going to really help detox the system, and then support your system with the chlorophyll and all the other stuff that your body needs to alkalinize it and help fight off the things that need to be fought off. And almonds. All right, so those are just a few tips on that. I can get a lot more in depth, but I'm not going to, because we're coming upon the hour and I don't want to keep you all night. It was great to be able to share. I really appreciate you all being here and allowing me to share my story. I have had my thyroid check. This has been over a year now, so about a year and a half. It's still normal. My last labs were done about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Still normal. I'm doing great. I forgot to mention I actually had thyroid nodules as well that were supposed to be surgically removed, because apparently that's the only way you can get rid of thyroid nodules. But mine shrank. Somehow mine shrank. So they went from 4 millimeters to 0.4 millimeters. I literally have my lab results right here for anybody who doesn't believe me. Okay. My doctor actually had to repeat the ultrasound because she thought that they made a mistake. So she went ahead and repeated it. She said she literally did it herself the second time. And she was amazed. She says, okay, well, do whatever you're doing. And yeah, we'll see you back in a year, just to kind of follow up. I said, okay. So it was an honor and a pleasure to share with you. So let me know if you want more information, if you want a copy of the other class that I've done, as well as the protocols. All right. If you're not using essential oils yet and you're here just out of curiosity, or if you're not sure which essential oils to get or how to get started, please reach out. If you don't have a mentor and want a mentor, then I will absolutely take you under my wing. Just reach out and let me know. All right. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.